Well, in fact, fast-paced developments are taking place. We've been tracking this story very closely. The latest now being that in all likelihood, Eknath Shinde's camp will be approaching the governor as far as the floor test is concerned. Let me also bring in my colleague Ankit, who's joining us from the Mumbai newsroom. Ankit, a short while back, Deepak Kesarkar, a legislator from the Shiv Sena, he's now put out a 3-page letter. Details of it with you.
You through this scintillating letter that has been issued by the spokesperson for the Eknath Shinde camp. The tweet along with this letter reads, "Safeguarding Hindutva, not a rebellion, but a fight for Shiv Sena's self-respect." Now, I'll just broadly take you through this full letter that you can read on republicworld.com. In the first page, they say that they are safeguarding Hindutva. Their cause is not a rebellion, but it is a fight for Shiv Sena's self-respect. They begin by talking about how there is an upheaval in Maharashtra politics and how after they moved just for a few days to Guwahati to fight for their beliefs, they were called names by people who got elected to the Rajya Sabha because of them. They go on to take on Sanjay Raut specifically as part of this letter. They go further to say that they have moved to Guwahati to strengthen the Shiv Sena's true voice. However, there are people who they are making threats against them. They later proceed to talk about the alliance with the BJP. They say that as the BJP was expanding under Prime Minister Modi, the Shiv Sena was also expanding. And this was a desirable process, they say. They go further to talk eventually about how the NCP and the Congress, after the Shiv Sena BJP alliance broke and the MVA was formed, the NCP and Congress have done everything in their power to finish off the Shiv Sena, and this was being witnessed on the ground as well. They say, but now the water is way over our heads, limits are crossed. Today, if at our cost NCP and Congress are enjoying power and simultaneously making efforts to finish the very foundation of our party, it is not acceptable to us at all. And so they continue then further on as we move to the last page, and this is very important. They say, should we let go of all our self-esteem to please Sharad Pawar and Sonia Gandhi? All the important portfolios to be given away to the NCP and Congress, keeping the CM post. How do we defend a minister who has ties with Dawood? So they in fact invoke the Dawood link also here with regards to the case against Nawab Malik. And finally, they also talk about how, read this paragraph, it is unfortunate that Sanjay Raut, who hasn't been elected by the people, is set to finish our party. Sanjay Raut is NCP's blue-eyed boy. So they specifically take on Sanjay Raut here. And now as we reach their demands, and so this is not a rebellion. This is a fight for Shiv Sena's self-esteem, and we shall not stop till we win it. I request our party chief, Shri Uddhav Thackeray, to consider, view and make a new alliance with the BJP. This alliance of BJP and Shiv Sena Yuti is in line with the verdict given by the people of Maharashtra. This alliance will take Maharashtra to great heights of development. And they conclude, that is why we are getting the blessings and wishes of Maharashtra. We will not give up. We shall not be defeated. We shall not stop until we take Maharashtra to greater heights. Jai Maharashtra, signed by Deepak Kesarkar, the spokesperson of the Eknath Shinde camp. Viewers, you can read this entire letter on republicworld.com. And so here they have taken on Sanjay Raut. They have called their effort not a rebellion, but a fight for the Shiv Sena's soul and future. And they have called for an alliance with the BJP.
Well, in fact, that's the latest news now coming in from the Eknath Shinde camp. We are given to understand the floor test is now almost certain. This comes in the backdrop of the interim order that was passed by the Supreme Court as far as the disqualification petition is concerned. 2 petitions that were filed before the court. It has now been admitted the matter has been taken up. In fact, we are given to understand that as far as the disqualification is concerned, that's not going to take place. It's been put on hold. Secondly, the court has basically directed the Maharashtra government to provide security to the rebel MLAs and their family members. This comes in the backdrop of the threats that have been issued to the family members of the rebel MLAs. In fact,